Father Barnabas Powell is pastor of Saints Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene, Greek Orthodox Church of Cumming, Georgia, USA. Here's Father Barnabas with Sunday's homily.
When I read this statistic, I was a little bit shocked and amazed because I don't know any of these people. There are over 170,000 households in the United States with a family net worth of $25 million or more. They didn't publish an address directory for that, folks, because I would be writing them a letter about sending maybe some money to help us build our church. And interestingly enough, since 2016, the average age of a household that has a $25 million or more net worth has dropped 11 years to 47 years of age, and most of that is due to inheritance. When I hear these statistics and I hear these large numbers, by the way, the average age now is 47 years of age of someone who has a net worth of $25 million or more. You know, I don't know if I could live on $25 million, but I'd love to try. No, I'm just... But the reality is we live in an age of plenty. Now, this strikes some people as being very strange and very odd because they don't really experience it. And I think because we live in such plenty in this age that we're in today, we don't recognize what we have. And because we don't recognize what we have, we don't appreciate what we have. Over and over again, I am amazed at the amount of stuff that is just thrown away and discarded in our country. When I was a teenager, now when I tell you this story, you're not allowed to hold this against me. When I was a teenager, I spent a summer on a garbage route. I think I was 16, 17, something like that. And I spent a summer working for a garbage collection company on a garbage route. And the common talk among all the guys as we were riding, and I was one of the guys that held on to the back of the truck. You know, you've seen them guys there hold on to the back of the truck, and I'd jump off and grab the can and put it in the hopper and do that kind of stuff. The majority of the guys that I worked with, and some of these guys, that's all they've ever done their whole lives. That was their career, being a garbage man. Nothing wrong with that. Somebody's got to do it. And they would constantly tell me stories. Oh, you know, I found a record player. Oh, I found somebody was throwing away a perfectly good this or that or the other. And they were just thrilled. It was just like a treasure hunting season for them. But in our culture, we throw away so much that the rest of the world would think, man, we could use that. We live in a culture and in an age that is very wealthy. And there's nothing wrong with wealth, and there's nothing wrong with poverty. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, Orthodox Christians, pay attention to me. The state of your life, no matter what state it is filled with opportunities for you to know God if you will only wake up to the moment that you're in. Whether you're wealthy or you're poor. All the poor people say, but if I just had money, I'd be fine. All the wealthy people said, if I just had more money, I'd be fine. And the constant struggle and the constant drive to get more or have more or collect more. We live in a day and an age, ladies and gentlemen, one of the fastest growing industries in this country is the self-storage facilities. We own so much stuff, we have to rent a space to store more stuff. And you've heard me say this before, where I say, you know, this Saturday, let's go visit our stuff at the storage facility. Go look at our stuff. Isn't that wonderful? We have stuff. And as great and as wonderful as that is, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, precious Orthodox Christians, do you understand that when you are deluded by what you have or what you don't have, you are in danger of falling into the fantasy of either elation or despondency? And both of those places are illusions. They're not real. Ask anyone who has been very, very wealthy and lost it all, and ask any lottery winner Did this make you happy? And the answer most of the time is going to be no. So the reality isn't whether I'm very wealthy or I'm very poor or anywhere in between. Most of us fall in between. The reality is, am I awake enough, regardless of where I am, to acknowledge that my first priority must be my relationship with Jesus Christ? Every year, the church, in her love for us, gives us this story as I hope you realize this, as we're approaching Great Lent. It's only a few weeks away, gang. And the church, in her love for us, gives us the story of this precious, short little fella. I like him. Zacchaeus, and he's a tax collector. And guys, I know how you feel about tax collectors. I feel the same way. Every April the 15th, I write a check. And I begin to shake as I'm signing the last few letters of my name in vicious anger. No, it's not true. Zacchaeus was not a popular guy in town, but he was very wealthy. He had a lot of stuff. He had a lot of money. He had a lot of resources. He wasn't hurting, as my grandmother used to say. He wasn't hurting. But Zacchaeus had heard about Jesus Christ. And you know the story well. He's short, he can't see over the crowd. So he runs ahead and he climbs up in a tree and he waits for Jesus to pass by because he wanted to see him. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why the church gives us this story at this time of year as we're about to approach Great Lent is because, now watch this, if you get this, folks, let me tell you something. If you hear what I'm about to tell you, 90% of all the struggles you have with your spiritual life will be settled. Interested? If you hear what I'm about to say and you take it to heart, 90% of all your spiritual struggles are going to be settled. That's a pretty good deal. The church gives us this story to look at us in the face and say, how bad do you want to see Christ? What do you desire? And what do you desire to the point that you will apply the energy necessary to achieve what you desire? What do you desire this morning? What do you want? What do you want in your life? Now, most people, they have similar wants. I'd like to be comfortable. I'd like to be happy. But the problem is the definition of all those things, angels. And many times we foolishly believe that if I'm going to be happy, then it means that I have stuff. Or if I'm going to be happy that I don't have any problems. But ladies and gentlemen, haven't you lived long enough to realize that no matter how wealthy you are or how poor you are, everybody's got problems? So it isn't a matter of being without problems. There's no such thing. The question is, can you be at peace regardless of the circumstances around you? Can you know Christ so well and focus your life and prioritize your life so much that your desire is only for Christ and to be completely made into His image, that you can stand no matter what's going on around you? Zacchaeus comes to that spot. He's interested in seeing Jesus, and he'll do anything to get there. So he climbs the tree, makes a complete fool out of himself. Everybody knows he's short. I'm sure he's heard short jokes his whole life. How's the weather down there? That's why I like standing up here. It makes me feel taller. But he climbs up the tree, and the second Jesus gets there, Zacchaeus doesn't have a chance to say a word. Jesus recognizes Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus, come down here. I'm having dinner at your house today. And the rest of the crowd going, does he know who that is? Man, that guy's a sinner. He's a bad guy. But look what Jesus does. Jesus recognizes and immediately responds to Zacchaeus' desire to see him. Brothers and sisters, when you want the right things show up. When you are foolishly under the delusion that I need this or that or the other, and waste your life energy pursuing those that are too small for you, you find yourself constantly wondering, why aren't I happy? I have all the stuff I thought I wanted. I have the nice car. I married the pretty wife. I've got the nice house. I got that degree. I got that job. Why haven't I, poof, all of a sudden become happy? Because, brothers and sisters, it is when you want the right things that your heart is turned in the right direction. Because, brothers and sisters, I'm going to tell you what right now. If you tell me what you want, I'll tell you who you are. If you tell me what your heart desires, I'll tell you who you really are. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus, and Jesus immediately responded to that act of faith and went to Zacchaeus' house. The people murmured, he's a sinner, he's a tax collector. Jesus, he's one of the bad guys. Immediately, Zacchaeus, knowing what the crowd is saying, says, Lord, I give half my possessions to the poor today. And if I have cheated anybody in my job as a tax collector, I'm going to pay them back fourfold. What does Jesus do? Not only does Zacchaeus respond to his desire to see Christ by doing what he had to, then he immediately responded to the Lord's coming and being in his home, taking up residence in his house by responding the proper way. Zacchaeus reorients his entire life towards righteousness. And what does Jesus say? Today salvation has come to this house, for he is also a son of Abraham. All the folks who murmured and called him a bad name and said he was a sinner, they didn't hear those words. But Zacchaeus, who displayed what he truly desired through his actions, proved to be the man that Jesus Christ knew he could be. And Jesus Christ said, salvation's come to this house today. This is a son of Abraham. This is one of my kids, if I can put it in the Father Barnabas translation. My mama used to say, honey, your actions are so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. Your actions are so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. Your actions are so loud that your words are hard to hear. Brothers and sisters, in your life, what you truly desire, what you truly want, what you truly hunger for in your heart shows up in your priorities, in your choices that you make, how you spend your time, how you spend your money, how you spend the life gift that God has given you, how you take advantage of the moments that God gives you every day of your life. Today, in this place, in this parish, who are you? If you tell me what you want, I'll tell you who you are. Would you like to see Jesus? Are you willing to reorient your life, to so focus the energies of your life so that you pursue that priority in your life? And when you do see Jesus, are you willing to be hospitable and have Him come into your home? And in having Him come to your home, are you willing to so reorient your priorities and the way you spend your time and your talents and your treasures so that that true desire for Christ is seen by everyone around you? What do you want this morning? As we approach Great Lent and the spiritual spring cleaning that offers us, the church asks you to begin to ask yourself, this morning, friends, look at me. This morning, what do you want? Amen.
You can follow Father Barnabas on YouTube or on our church website at stsrni.org. Thank you for watching.